Hello, everybody! How are we doing? How is everybody? It's nice to be here. It's nice to be back on the live stream. I have some exciting things to talk about on the stream. Things that I will brag about in a moment. But first of all, can everyone hear me okay? Can everyone see me okay? How are we doing? Hello chat. Hello Trebor8. Hello Lava Do Me UK. Oh, Lava Do Me UK. Okay. Mutant and Proud. Hell yeah! Mutant and Proud Beast. Justin Roiland. Where did I know that name from? Oh, well. Woo! Hello, my thorns have roses 6472. Hey, I am the thorn to every rose. You're very pink, says Captain Medusa. Yes, that's my lovely pink light. I can make it any color I want. It's pretty. It's pretty. Oh, sorry, I startled you to the person whose ears I just appeared in. Hello. Sorry, Eric Lundquist. Hello. Oh, it's so nice to be back. Oh my gosh. Yes, people can see me. People can hear me. Oh my god. So, if you were here on the last live stream, you will remember that we had some technical problems. I spent almost a full hour, that's how long it took, earlier this afternoon fiddling with the settings, and I believe I have now fixed it. So I believe I have now come up with a new way to be able to show you the video from last time and the comments and the fan art. And basically, headline version, I'm the greatest live streamer alive. That's the headline version. You know, I'm trying to Northern Lion Who. I'm trying to even think of live streams. I'm like, I don't know who, like Northern Lion Who. Asmon. I get there's two ones that are like Asmodeus. There's Asmongold and there's Amaranth, and I get them mixed up. And I don't know much about them, but I think you probably don't want to get those two mixed up. I don't know Finster. I don't know any other live streamers. That's about it. But cleared every single one of them. Turns out, always bet on Tube. Turns out I'm the greatest live streamer in the world because I fixed it. So you know, there you go. PDFs successfully rotated. Hell yeah. First time in yonks I've got a live stream live from Rory O'Kane. 5907 watching on the way to ICU night shift. Hope you're working there. Hope you're not heading to the ICU hey, maybe don't get distracted by the live stream if you work in an ICU. I don't want responsibility for that. But good luck to you and all your patients. My brother works in an ICU. Are you my brother? No, you're not. He never tunes into my live streams. But say hello if you see him. I don't know why you would, and you wouldn't know if you did, but there you go. You don't want to know either of them, says YTM. Okay, cool. Alright. Well, anyway, tell you what. As is tradition, let's start the live stream with a candle, and I want to light the candle tonight because I am cold! It is cold in London! And I haven't put the heating on in my flat because I don't know if you know anything about heating bills right now, but it's expensive. This massive candle was a gift from my manager last year at Christmas, and we've almost finished it, so I guess kind of good timing, right? Here we go. Yes, it's cold, but hopefully that small candle will warm us up. What a nice Medi candle we have in the fireplace. Lovely. Sound like my old French teacher again. Lovely. Excellent work, Abigail. It's not cold here in Argentina, says Jake7. You actually do look like my sister, says A. Jackie Wells. Hey, Van Veen in chat. Good to see you, Van. That's a joke for the Vladimir Nabokov heads. Love the new hair, says Lava Domiko. Thank you very much. This is blonde stage 2, of which there will be either 3 or 4. Stage 3 will arrive in January, but you have to go blonde in stages. You can't do it all at once or you'll nuke your hair. So under this light, it kind of looks a little orange, but in real life, it will be turning a beautiful blonde. If any of you come and see me on stage in February, then you will see blonde stage 3. Yes. The British never had a secular enlightenment. Yeah. So if you come and see me live next year in London, then you'll see blonde stage 3. But yes, for now this is stage 2, which I'm enjoying. Thank you so much. Your videos help me write nursing school essays, says Rory Morrison. Wow. What about like ethics and medical care? Oh, you're gonna love the next one. I can't tell. Not the next one. The one after that. The next one for you. No. The next one for you comes out on Friday, which is going to be the birth rates part 2. Nebula heads, I've already seen it. Yeah, the next one, the big one I'm working on, but I can't tell you what that's about. When are tickets out, says Pip Quasar. Now! Tickets are out right now. If you Google, what am I doing? Let me make sure we get this right. If you Google, the title of the show is Blink. So if you Google Blink Abigail Thorne, you'll get it. But also if you Google Blink King's Head Theatre, you'll get it. That's the show I'm going to be in. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, because I've got a script here too. So, yeah. Oh no, has that got a hole in my dress? Oh no, that's just what it's like. So yeah. If you Google Blink King's Head Theatre, you'll find it. Tickets on sale right now. I believe that there is a special code on my Patreon page that will unlock the front 2 rows. No spoilers, but if you're one of those people that likes to go to the theatre and does not want to be looked at, there's no audience interaction, but if you're one of those people who likes to go to the theatre and just be a kind of like face, just like, don't look at me, I'm just gonna like watch theatre like this, maybe don't sit in the front row. Yeah. Hello from India, says Chinmay. Oh, hello. What kind of bug would your favorite if I was a frog? Oh, what kind of bug would be my favorite if I became a frog? Shrimp. Shrimp are a bug. I like shrimp as a person, so I bet I'd like him if I was a bug, if I was a frog. Is it a new play, says LM977? No, Blink, I think it came out 10 years ago. It's by Phil Porter. I have the script here because it's what I've been reading lately. I was going to talk about the last episode of Philosophy Tube, but we can talk about what I'm reading at the moment first, if you like. We can always break formula. Yeah, Blink, here it is. It came out 10 years ago. This is the play I'm going to be in January. It's fun. I won't spoil it, just in case you want to come in blind. But it's good fun. Does the second part of the birth rates video series mention antinatalism? Yes, very briefly. Yes, only insofar as I say I'm not going to talk about this. I actually did a video on antinatalism years and years ago, so we've already covered it. Hello from Portland, Oregon, says Gaming Glass. I can't remember if I've ever been to Portland. I don't think I have. I've been close to Portland though. I've been to Seattle, which is same coast, and I think I've been a little bit north of Seattle too. Yeah. Anyway, lovely to have you all here. Nice to have everyone here. And what we like to do in these live streams is we like to talk about the previous episode of Philosophy Tube and tell you a little bit about how I made it, what some of the feedback was, what some of the commenters said. So yeah, let's dive in. Let's check it out. Oh shit, Portland is in the chat, says Platinum Mox. Oh, I think there's gonna be a bit of a meet cute going on. We've got 2 Portlanders in the chat. Do I hear wedding bells? No. Wish I could come to the play, but I live in New York, says Corey B89. It's a shame airplanes haven't been invented. No, I'm kidding. I get it. But you should. If you can, you should. People have been asking, is it going to be recorded? Is it going to be on Nebula? It's definitely not going to be on Nebula because it's nothing to do with Nebula. It's not a Nebula production. I don't know if it's going to be recorded. That's not my department. I'm just the acting department on this one. If it is, I would say this is an experience, just from talking to the director and hearing his vision. This is an experience that's designed to be seen live. So even if it is recorded, I think it would end up being a much poorer experience. So if you can come and see it live, I would advise doing that. Don't wait for a recording that may never exist and will definitely be an inferior product. Your mic is a tiny bit quiet. Let me just boost the gain, boost the power, more power. It's at maximum power, I'm afraid. You're just gonna have to turn your speakers up. That's no power from me. But what I can do is I can show you why I'm the greatest live streamer ever in the world, of all time, maybe even. Check this out. Remember on the last live stream when I put myself in the top corner and then I had the video underneath and the audio was all crackly? Well, behold! Listen to the clear as a bell, dulcet tones of my voice. How clear, how uncrackled, how smooth. God, I hope this is working, otherwise I'm gonna look like a fool. But listen to the quality. Yes. We love it. Basically, I found this is technical, so don't worry about it. But before, what I was doing is I was telling my streaming software to like capture a window of my computer and show you that. And now I've told my streaming software to like take the entire internet and like put it in a pipe and then just like show you one end of the pipe like that. And then that's what it's done. And for some reason that works better. I was testing all this afternoon to see whether it worked. ASMR time, says Asa_Asa5. It's time for ASMR content. Wait, you can get flagged for that, can't you? Never mind. I take it back. Don't jack off to this. I'll get in trouble. I've seen other creators do ASMR and get in trouble for it. Sorry. It's not horny. Anyway. A series of tubes, people say. A series of tubes. PDF has been successfully rotated. Amazing. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So, the previous episode of the show, it was called, I actually did like an ABC title test on this. I gave it 3 titles and let YouTube pick the one that got clicked on the most. So the title that ended up winning the competition was You're Wrong About Birth Rates and Aging Populations, which was my least favorite title, but you can't argue with clicks. There you go. This is really nice mango and yuzu tea, by the way. My mum bought me this from a very fancy British shop and it's delicious. I love it. Flaming Six says, why are there ads on the live stream? WTF YouTube. I know. I wish I could turn ads off on the live stream, but I can't. I literally can't. I've been into the back end on the settings of the live stream, and you can make mid-roll ads infrequent, but you can't actually turn them off, which I hate. I hate mid-roll ads. I hate them. If I could turn them off on live streams, I would. I turn them off on my regular videos, as I'm sure you've noticed, and I hope as you appreciate, because I just find them annoying, and they break up the art, and they break up the flow, and I hate them. So I'm sorry if you get a mid-roll ad on the live stream. There's really nothing I can do about it. I wish they didn't do that, but whatever. So that's the video that I made previously. Woo! That's the video that I made previously. You're wrong about birth rates and aging populations. Title tells you a little bit of what it's about. I didn't like the title so much because it's a little, of the 3 that I made, it's a little aggro. It's a little, a little clickbaity. YouTube is as YouTube does. That's okay. But if you have seen these live streams before, then you will know that I have 1, 2, 3 criteria for judging a video. If it meets those 3 criteria, then I'm happy with it. And so those criteria are: is it made from curiosity, not ambition? In this case, yes, I think it was. I was curious about this topic. I wanted to know why people were worried about it. I wanted to form my own opinion on it, and I did. That was part of my research journey. I was like, okay, cool. Oh, somebody says, what were the other 2 titles? I think one of them was like, conservatives want you to panic about aging populations and the birth rate, and one of them was just like aging populations and the birth rate, just like a plain, like a control title test, you know? Yeah, this was the one that won in the end. It was close. I think it was like, this one was like 35%, and then the other 2 were like 30, 33, 32%. So there wasn't much in it. But yeah. So yes, curiosity, not ambition. First criterion, gonna give myself a tick. Second one, is it made out of compassion for myself and others? Now, part of that is, did I make it in a sustainable way? Did the crew have an okay time on set? Was everyone healthy and taken care of? Big check. This was a really fun shoot. We had a lot of fun with this one. We shot parts 1 and 2 back to back. And part 2's a little emotional. There were places where I was, you know, a little raw with it, but that's okay. If you've seen part 2, you'll know those bits, and we'll get to them. But that's okay. You know, handle that. The crew were amazing. We did really well, especially considering when we shot this one, the Mother Nature look and the Goddess of Ignorance look. There was a bit of time crunch on the day, so that was cool. Everyone was fantastic and did an amazing job, and we got the footage, so nice. Was it made out of compassion for others? That's always like, am I making anyone's life worse by making this video? Am I targeting anyone? Am I hurting anyone? In which case, I don't think I am. I'm certainly not trying to. You know, that's the kind of compassion side of it. Like, is this video, at the very least, not making the world worse? Okay. So, gonna give myself a tick there too. Amber Faunchi says, kind of agrees she's looking radiant for what's supposed to be a casual time. Yeah, you know, I like this dress, you know, it's kind of Christmassy. It's, let me show you. You know, it's like Christmas vibes, you know? It's one of my, like, ah! It's one of my winter dresses. So graceful. So elegant. How did she learn to walk like that? Yes. Yeah, I like this dress. It's one of my winter dresses, and then I wear it with the white tights just to be very wintry. My hair's all curly because I washed it the other day, and I don't want to get it. I don't know. I could maybe get it blow dried. I went to this is off topic. I went to. Can I tell you this? Yeah, I can tell you that. I got my hair blow dried and I went to speed dating the other night. I went to like a lesbian speed dating event. So. Oh, Big Joel is here! Hi, Big Joel. Good to see you. Thank you for providing your voice for Elon Musk in this video. You try never to make anyone's life worse. Couldn't be me. Yeah, I mean, once you go down that road, like once you do that, I've seen people kind of get consumed by it, and also once that becomes your content, that's your content, right? And then people start doing it to you, so it's partly like a defense thing, if I'm honest, Joel, because like, you know, I have a rule for social media and YouTube and everything. I never say anything bad about anyone publicly ever. I try not, like, I've taken some pot shots of Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro and stuff, but really even then I try not to, because, you know, it's just not worth it. I don't want to attract that kind of audience. I don't want to attract an audience who comes to my videos for blood sport. Like, philosophy's not a contact sport. And also, like, it means I never say anything bad about anyone else. And then when people start bad-mouthing me, people come to my defense, because everyone's like, oh, Abby's nice, don't go after her. And I'm just like, well, you know, obviously in my head, I'm thinking like kill, murder, kill, death. But then with my thumbs, I'm just like, let's all be friends, you know? So it's kind of, it's partly like a defensive PR move, and partly just because, like, you know, there's always people to hate. There's always people to be mad at. And then sometimes I'm just like, yeah, you know, we're here to learn. We're here to learn. Philosophy Tube is, I'm gonna sound really corny. Philosophy Tube is not just a show, and it's not me. It is a way of being. It is a set of principles. It is a Bushido that I hold to. Sometimes I'm like, I want to fucking yell at this person online, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna be cool. You know, I'm fucking posting samurai. Always honorable, trying to be. Abby is meaner to fictional characters on podcasts than real life ghouls. Oh yeah, if you listen to Kill James Bond, I'll go in on fictional characters. I'll unleash my hate. I'll just be like, kill this man. Like, but no, not in real life. I try not to. You know, I don't always succeed, but I hope to fail in interesting ways. I'm sort of wrestling with myself because the video that I want to make in the new year, the big project I'm working on that I can't talk about, I kind of do need to name some specific individuals who are currently alive, and at the very least I need to have a lawyer look over what I'm going to say. So yeah, anyway, we've had 2 criteria so far. Was the video made from curiosity, not ambition? And was it made out of compassion for myself and others? The final criteria is it my unique creative vision? And yep, I think that's gonna be a tick. I think we've got this. We've got this guy. He's back, baby. And we also have the goddess of ignorance. In the show notes, she was called Agnathena, by the way. Those of you who kept asking, does the goddess of ignorance have a name? Agnathena is what I called her in my little script. So was it my unique creative vision? I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to give myself a big old tick on that one. Very pleased with that. I tell you what, actually. So let's talk about the aesthetic. The previous video that we did, the one on Thomas Jefferson, was really, I deliberately stripped it way back and just did it in a suit. And Brian, the Philosophy Tube stylist, bless him. Brian Conway. I don't know if you like Google this man. Brian is a very big deal. Brian has styled some very famous people since we first started working together. And Brian let me know that things on Philosophy Tube, especially this year, have been a little more restrained, and that was a deliberate choice by me at the start of 2025 to make the looks a little more restrained, a little more plain. And Brian let me know that he wanted to flex. He wanted to, do something big. And so I was like, okay. And so this video, I let Brian off the leash. And I was like, Brian, we've got the budget. I want to give you some, like, go wild. Like, let's go nuts. Let's go some, like, high fashion, something really out there. And so we designed these 2 looks. This first one, Mother Nature. She's Mother Nature. And we had this custom thing. I tell you what, I've still got it. Let me hold on just a second. Stand by. Here we go. So, let me just... You'll excuse me if I take my eye off the chat for a second. So, this... Lift you up there. This is the corset that we had for the Mother Nature look. And this was designed and made by a fantastic designer called Marius Malone, who my stylist, Brian Conway, got in touch with. And we gave him the brief. And he made this whole thing out of like old carpet and like bits of bone and stuff. And it fastens at the back with just like a corset. and it has like really, really exaggerated hips. And the initial sketch he gave me had a lot of stuff going on below the waist, and I said, like, on Philosophy Tube they usually only see me from like here to here, so probably best to prioritize this. So like he custom made this, and now I just have it. I didn't want to throw it out, but there's this, and then it came with this fantastic sort of headpiece that we used in some of the photos. So that was really fun. And then what did I do with the nails? Because the nails, we had some absolutely fantastic fingernails, which were made by Leah Zotova. One sec. What did I do with those? Are they here? Aha! We had some amazing fingernails, custom made by, look at those, grape, grape colored. We had some amazing, these are nails. You can like pull these out and like put them on your fingers, like the big flowers. So the idea was to create a look that embodied both life and death, really. It's kind of the flourishing of the new life, but also, as you can see, the makeup is very, let me find a zoom in one. The makeup is very, very pale. So she's kind of like a little bit corpsey as well. So it's like life and death in one. It's like Mother Nature. She sort of, she grows and she recycles. And it's about like aging and birth, like birth rates and aging, right? You get it? You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying. So that's where that look came from. And, you know, Marius and Leah and Brian and, of course, Nikki, the makeup and hair artist that we use, did an amazing job, as always. I might get Marius to design my look for next year's as well. And they just did fantastic. I think they really enjoyed being let off the leash as well, so that was good fun. And then the other look that we had was... What am I doing? Here I am. The other look we had, well, of course we had. Then we had the arsonist, which I know that Nikki enjoys doing the arsonist. Did him a little different this time. Made him look a bit more gaunt, a bit more, you know, older, a bit not as certain, and there's a little bit of red round his eyes, almost like he's been crying. It's hard to tell, but if you go back and watch the original, you know, you'll find that. And then we were doing the hair, and Nikki was like, "It's kind of giving Hitler," and I was like, "Good, it should give Hitler." So yeah, she does an amazing job on this. It's amazing how big the shirt and the suit is on me now. It kind of looks, my body has changed so much that he looks uncomfortable. It looks like it doesn't fit, which is good, because I did something a little bit different with the character this time as I was writing him too. He looks depressed, says Jake7. Yes, yeah. Well, so writing the arsonist has been a bit of a challenge more recently because I created him as a crypto fascist, and the fascists aren't crypto anymore. They're just saying it now. They're not, you know, there's people in my country who are just like, yeah, steal their possessions, you know? It's not subtle anymore. And so I was like, what do I do with this character? And so I decided to make him a little bit pathetic. You know, he's estranged from his son, who he routinely misgenders. He doesn't understand the way the world is changing, and he's just this sort of fading power, gripping on to status and to prestige, and it's just kind of pathetic, really, in a way that's still contemptible. And we get that moment in the monologue of where he like almost realizes there's no one to blame except, and then sort of snaps out of it, that he is this sort of, I won't say tragic, because he's not, well, he's kind of pitiable in a way. He's pathetic. He portrays himself as being this big, powerful man, but actually he's a loser. And that's what I wanted to get across, is that these people are losers. Fascism is an ideology for losers, and you know, he's determined to drag everyone down with him. And then that final moment where he's not saying, "Can I have a match?" as like a power thing, as like, I need you, you're gonna help me and do what I say. Even versus the last time we saw him, he's just like, he's pathetic. He's just got nothing left. Well, you know, of course, at the same time, he has everything because he's incredibly powerful and you know, wealthy and so on. But like, he's a loser. He's a fucking loser. And so there's a little bit of red around the eyes where he's almost been crying, where he's sort of pale and waxy and pathetic. I'll tell you what, I went to see a fantastic performance in London of a show called The Pitchfork Disney. I think I spoke about it on a previous live stream. That was at the King's Head Theatre, which is where I'm going to be doing Blink. And that really played a lot with powerful people also being kind of pathetic and also being kind of... Actually, I'll tell you what else. Have you seen One Battle After Another? With Captain Steve Lockjaw, Colonel Steve Lockjaw in that. He's this like big, powerful man, and at the same time, he's pathetic. He's just like a horrible, he's a freak, like psychosexual weirdo. Like he's like, I'm not a homosexual, if that's what you're implying. And it's like, this man is so fragile. And so, yeah, that's the energy I wanted to play with for the Arsonist. And then we had Agnathena, the goddess of ignorance. And then Brian brought me a bunch of dresses for this one. The dress and the cape are actually from two separate, dresses. They don't come together. We bought them separately and combined them. And then he also, I think what really set it off is this visor he bought me. I forget the name of the designer who made that, but he brought it in from New York, and it's fantastic. I mean, like, ignorance, not being able to see, you know, things being obscured from you, that's what we needed. I was like, okay, Brian, this is it. This is the kind of the energy that we want to capture. I could see a fair bit. It's just like wearing sunglasses, you know. Oh, what a face. I could see through it. It's just like wearing sunglasses indoors. But yeah, that dress is amazing. I still have it, couldn't be returned, and so I think I'm gonna wear that dress on a red carpet next year that I may be doing. So that'll be fun. So that's how the kind of aesthetic of the video came together. Oh, and by the way, these were all shot in the same room. This is a place in London that we found that just has a bunch of sets around the room where you can just film content. And so these are all shot in the same room, as is the next episode, the one that you've already seen if you're on Nebula. That's just, it's all shot in one place. And sorry, I missed one out. We also had this, which was the first thing that we shot. We did this bit first. These are just my own clothes. Just my sweater and my new jeans that I just bought. Yeah, this was the first thing that we did. And Nikki made me all kind of glowy and curly, and yeah. Oh, the silver bit stickers, says Humano349. Yes, they were. That tea was nice. I wish I had some more. Look, itchy nose. So that is how the aesthetics of it all came together. And I really wanted to let Brian, just kind of let him off the leash. And I certainly did for the part 2, if you've seen it. I let him go really nuts for that. So yeah, we had fun on this one. It was a great time. Oh yeah. So actually, the first version of the video, the one that went up on Nebula, had a couple of little mistakes in it, which were drawn to my attention by Tom Nicholas. Actually, if you're not aware of Tom, he's a fantastic video essayist and a Nebula colleague. He drew my attention to some little mistakes that I made. So you may have caught if you're very early on Nebula, you may have caught the kind of the first version, and so I took it down and did some little bit of tweaks. Tom noted that the video was a little bit light on numbers and on data, which I think is fair. I think that's a fair cop. I could have gone more into the weeds on like the numbers and the economics and stuff. He wasn't the only person to pick up on that. And I think that's maybe a note to self that I have, is like, I think the video is strongest when I'm on the philosophy stuff. I think my channel generally is strongest when I'm on the philosophy stuff. And so yeah. Queen Stodge says every line the arsonist says is terrifying. It's like we're in a post-satire age. Loved all the fits. Thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Brian Unleashed says Flaming Six. Hell yeah. Yeah, he's amazing. Brian is really, really fantastic. So yeah, there's something else that I wanted to note and just kind of ask chat if anyone picked up on this. So this episode, I'm pretty sure, let me double check before I say this actually. Let me just double check. Subtitles. Yeah, this episode did not have German or Brazilian Portuguese subtitles. Usually they do, and they have done for a couple of years now. Thank you so much, Michelle C, for that super chat. Thank you. Your first year of university, business and accounting. Congratulations. Anyway, oh, I really didn't. What? YouTube cut off your screen name. Have you ever been asked to do something like Cameo where people pay for a little message? No, I haven't. I'm not on Cameo. If you want to pay me to say something, then I'm an actor. You can get in touch with my agent, and we'll talk about it. Not my agent, with my manager, and we'll talk about it like that. Anyway, as I was saying, this episode did not have German and Brazilian Portuguese subtitles, which is the first one in a while it hasn't. Germany and Brazil are my two biggest foreign language audiences, and so I have previously been paying quite a lot of money, like, you know, in the kind of 4 figures for those subtitles. And I looked at the analytics and I found that no one was really using them. It's maybe like 1 or 2 individuals occasionally use them, but for the most part they didn't. So this time I decided I'm just not gonna put those on and see if anyone objects, and nobody did. So if you are in Germany or Brazil, then I think going forward, I think it was good to save a little bit of money this time, because especially after the last video, the Jefferson one bombed, and then I also donated all the ad money to the Indian College Fund, and then made that big donation to Medical Aid for Palestinians. So the kind of finances of the channel dipped, and then this time coming back up, we're doing okay. So I think it was good to save those couple $1,000. Because I won't have an AI do it. I won't, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not having an AI subtitle my content, get out of town. No, I think if I'm going to do foreign language stuff, people deserve to have it done right. But, yeah. So, this time it did not have those subtitles. It had subtitles in English, but nobody objected, so I might just keep doing that. We shall see. Good to not waste the money, especially because it's not mine. You know, I don't want to waste my patrons' money on stuff that nobody's using. I'm in Germany, but if I were to look at subtitles, it would be the English ones, says Mr. Wonka. Okay, all right. All right then. So I guess, why don't we talk a little bit about the research process for this one? It started out, I was, as you'll know if you've seen part 2 already, I was batting around the idea of children and having children and what that means, having children in this particular world that we're in. And so that was going on in my head, and then I also saw a lot of articles about the birth rate, and especially these ones about the so-called progressive case for boosting the birth rate. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea for a video. I don't maybe want to do a video about that. Originally, it was going to be one big video, and then as the research document grew and grew, I realized it needed to be split in 2, that we'd do this bit on birth rates in aging populations, and then we'd do a part 2 about the ethics of having kids, when I get into the more personal stuff. I worried about doing a video that was like pretty personal, and I was like, okay, well, I'll split it into 2, and I'll put all the personal stuff at the back half of part 2. So like I've kind of, by the time we get to the personal stuff, we've earned it. You see what I mean? It's not just me vlogging. It's like an educational build up, and then I'm like, here's how this affects me. So I read all those articles about birth rates and the progressive case of boosting the birth rate. And then I realized, oh shit, we probably need to talk about aging populations as well. So I read Phil Mullen's book, The Imaginary Time Bomb, which I got a lot out of. And that's what caused me to realize, oh, this is about phantasms again. We can come back to that. A little bit of like 2024 Philosophy Tube coming back briefly. I knew that I wanted to talk about Palestine action on the show at some point. The strategy I have on Philosophy Tube for talking about Palestine is the same one that I said I was going to adopt back in 2022. What I said I would do back then is I was just going to like, rather than do like one big video on Palestine and then just be like, done, and then that video could become outdated or you know, obsolete, or you can, God forbid, be taken down or whatever. I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep talking about this where it's relevant and just like keep bringing it up and keep this as an example, that kind of like I do with trans stuff, right? There's not every video is like the trans one. I try and do like one LGBTQ video a year just to be like, hello, we're here. But then also, like, if it's relevant or funny, I'll bring it up. Genocide in Palestine, not particularly funny, not funny at all. But when it's relevant philosophically, I'll bring it up. So I knew I wanted to talk about Palestine action. So Phantasms gave me a route into doing that as well, to be able to go, okay, here's this topic, and like, here's a broader application of it. Like, here's this birth rates thing, and here's how we can like plug it into something we've already covered on the show. Because that's something else I like to do with the show as well, is to be like, you know, if you just watch one episode of Philosophy Tube, cool. If you watch more of them, you will get more out of all of them. They combine like Voltron, you know? So you go, oh, this is what we were studying last year. Cool, great. So that's pretty much how the research went. Oh, I also, the UN report that I mentioned at the end, I got a lot out of that. Really fascinating reading. Let me see if I can, this one. Fascinating reading. Part of me wishes I'd spoken about that more, but then we give it more time on the follow-up episode. So yeah, really, really good report. Highly recommend. So yeah. That was how the research process went. My research document for this video was 48,000 words long. Sometimes people ask me for my TLDR on the videos, and I'm like, the video is the TLDR. The video is the TLDR of everything I've read. So yeah. Pierre-Antoine0519 says, this is what I've been saying when people say you don't talk about Palestine at all. It feels like they don't watch your videos. Yeah, I think I've mentioned like almost every video since October 7th, and also even before, and like public live streams and donations and stuff. But hey ho, as I said on the previous live stream, the important thing is not that we yell at YouTube is the correct amount. So hey ho. I love Voltron, says Queen Sodge. I've never seen... Is Voltron from a show called Voltron? I don't know where Voltron is from. The only thing I know about Voltron is that it's robots that become a bigger robot. Is Voltron from the Voltron show? Does Voltron have a show? Is Voltron... Power Rangers! I was never into Power Rangers. It was good, sorry. I was more of a secretly watching Sailor Moon and then turning it off if anyone came in. Kind of a girl. Totally Spies, same treatment. We've talked about Totally Spies on the podcast before. Yeah. Isn't it from Transformers? Oh really? It was a show in the 80s. Okay. Multiple shows over decades. Oh. Okay. So Voltron is from a show called Voltron. That's what it is. It's its own. It's not a Power Ranger or a Transformer. It's a Voltron. Voltron is from Voltron. Okay. Yo, is that Voltron from Voltron? Do you think people go up to Voltron in the street and go, "Are you Voltron?" And Voltron's like, "Actually, Voltron is the name of my show. My name is Abigail." That's what I do sometimes. People come up to me like, "Are you Philosophy Tube?" And I'm like, No. Philosophy Tube is the name of the show. I am Philosophy Tube's monster. Super late, but I want to say I love your vid, says G's a good name. Ah, cool, thank you. Heck yeah. It's the Voltron Show, starring Voltron. John Voltron. John Voltron? Wasn't that like an old gaming channel, John Voltron? That was that's John. Man, I used to love JonTron's videos when I was in university, before all the yeah. Oh man, me and my university girlfriend used to love JonTron. Are you Abby from Abby Thorn? Yes. Yes, that's me. What else? Oh yeah. I did make a mistake on the video. So, the book I referenced, The Imaginary Time Bomb, was written by scholar Phil Mullen. In the video, I said scholar Nick Mullen, which a lot of people in the comments found very funny because Nick Mullen is one of the hosts of Cumtown, which, by the way, I have never listened to, so I don't know where that beamed in from. I've never listened to Cumtown. And I would not know Nick Mullen if I bumped into him on the street. Apologies, Nick Mullen, if you're listening. Maybe I should listen to Cumtown. Chat, let me know if you recommend Cumtown. But, yeah, never listened to it. So, apologies. Scholar Phil Mullen, not Scholar Nick Mullen. My bad. My name is Jean Voltron. Do you want to have kids? Says Tony Bresadola. You are gonna like the next video, Tony. Tune into the next video, which comes out on Friday, which is about the ethics of having children. Because if you recall, remember at the end of this video, I found out that I am pregnant. There we go. Dun dun dun! Cliffhanger. So tune in for part 2. You will enjoy it. There you go. Yeah, you'll like part 2. Now there's one more thing that we should talk about before we oh no, actually no, let's talk about the numbers. Let's talk about how we did on numbers. So numbers-wise, this episode of Philosophy Tube did pretty good. Kind of middle of the road. Didn't set the whole internet on fire, but didn't bomb either. Which I was relieved at, because the Jefferson one bombed, and I was like, oh man, I'm washed, I'm cooked, I'm Jova. It's done. I'm chopped, among other things. You know, I'm washed, chopped, and cooked, which is the order in which to do it. But then additionally Jova. But no, this one did fine. It did good. It's knocking on the door of 600,000 views at time of streaming, which is pretty nice, pretty solid, respectable, middle of the road, good old episode of Philosophy Tube. Pleased with that. Nice. Views aren't the only thing in the world, of course. Like, more importantly is whether people enjoy it and whether people learn from it, and also things like Nebula conversions and Patreon conversions and so on as well, which kind of, you know, we can afford to. We don't have to be getting a million bazillion views on every episode. We're not Mr. Beast. We're not trying to do that. We're definitely going for more of a, you know, top shelf product than a lowest common denominator. I was about to go for like a Rolls Royce, but we're not a Rolls Royce channel. I don't know, maybe like a Mercedes? Do you think? Do you know what I mean? We're aiming for like a top third of the market, you know? Not like lowest common denominator. We're not the kind of like Ford Focus of YouTube videos. We're aiming for slightly more discerning clientele. So 600,000 views. Pretty pleased with that. It did 250,000 opening weekend, which is nice. It's always nice to hit that milestone. Pleased with it. Also, interestingly, I think this video attracted quite a few new subscribers. In fact, it attracted 4,000 new subscribers. I think it reached a bit of a new audience, which is nice. So that's cool. I dived into the analytics for this, so I can actually tell you that on the previous episode, 17.8% of the traffic came from recommendations that appeared alongside other videos. And it also tells me what the #1 video that people watched and then watched mine was. So we can get really granular. Turns out, apparently, I have a bit of an audience in common with a channel called Funky Frogbait, who is another YouTube video essayist who makes YouTube video essays in what I would describe as the new style, which is like you have a microphone and then you're like, this is the crazy thing that's happening on TikTok, right? And then it's just like 5 hours long. I would say that's like new school, whereas I'm like, keep it under an hour, have some fucking costumes and some gay lighting, baby. Like, you know, we're doing like Obama era video essays. That's how we did it. I tied an onion around my belt, which was the style at the time. I had bisexual lighting, and I dressed up as a plant in my video essay, which was the style at the time. So yeah, that's how we did it. Funky Frogbait. If any of you are fans of Funky Frogbait, let me know. Oh yeah, great channel, says Asnia2427. Hey, all right. Okay, cool. I'll have to check out that content. They seem cool. I watch Funky Frogbait, like the videos, says Queen Stodge. Okay, cool. Alright. Obama era video essays is crazy. Yeah, I saw somebody say the other day that, like, it might even have been Lily Alexander or somebody in her replies was saying that video essays were kind of like an Obama era phenomenon, because it's very much like, I've never stopped to think and like consider the details on this, and like it's very kind of like, you know, Democrats in power type dealy. Where it's like, you know, this, if anything bad happened, that'd be bad. So let's just like think about this and slow down. Whereas now maybe people want short form AI slop and just like deniable pornography. So it's just like, I don't want to think, man. I don't want to think. I don't want to know, because the like Ecclesiastes 1:18, in much knowledge is much grief, and he that increaseth wisdom increaseth sorrow. Like, it's just great. I know how the world works. Can I do anything about it? No, it's just getting worse. I don't want to know, man. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's part of it. Maybe they're just the times they are changing. But hey ho, I'll keep trying to educate people, because education is important. Yeah, maybe people just want to have something on in the background so they don't feel alone. And I'm like, no, I want people to think. I want people to learn. Some of us still remember the old ways. Some of us, it was a video essay as a, what is it? An elegant weapon from a more civilized age. 8 to 12 inches today in Chicago. Hey, all right, well, it's Saturday night. You be safe now. Make sure you use protection. Yeah. So yeah. Some of us still cling to the old ways on YouTube. BreadTube. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Long time. Do you ever feel like what you're doing is pointless? Because sometimes it seems education doesn't matter at all, says Duckupine4345. Sometimes, but then every day I get messages from people being like, you've helped me talk to my parents or to my grandparents or my kids, or you've helped me come out to myself, or you've helped me pass my course, or you've helped me think, or you've helped me for the past years. Every day, literally every day I get messages like that. And so education is not the same as systemic change. It isn't, I know that. And I have tried to be very conscious both on these live streams and on the show itself about what I think are the fundamental limitations of PhilosophyTube as a project. And that is one of the first ones I identified, is what do you do when people don't want to learn? That's why we did all those videos on phantasms and still are, because I think that's one of the big questions hanging over PhilosophyTube as a project. And it's why PhilosophyTube is not enough to save the world, you know? I mean, I remember even back in your 2019s and your 2020s, when people were writing articles about how, you know, BreadTube was de-radicalizing the alt-right and stuff, and I knew at the time that bollocks, it wasn't going to happen. I was like, no, come on, like, these political movements are born out of economic factors. Like, there's no way that consuming video essays is going to change the course of fucking politics forever. You know, it's just not going to happen. And we might de-radicalize a few individuals. There might be a few sort of TTTT heads, or like 4chan heads, or Kiwi Farms nutters who've watched some videos of mine and other creators over the years and feel a little bit better about themselves and aren't quite as horrible as they used to be. But is it going to change the world? No, it's not. But can it make one person's life a little bit better? Yes, I believe that it can. And if you can do that, is that not a worthwhile thing to do? I mean, I'm going to sound like I'm talking out of my butt here. I'm going to sound like a pretentious asshole, but I believe that it's true. I do believe that everyone has the right to have an education. And I do believe that the concepts we talk about on this show, whether it's fucking Schopenhauer or Kant or the latest philosophy of phantasms or the study of agnotology, or whether it's Shakespeare, or whether it's Biedermann und Brandschifter, which is what The Arsonist is a reference to, the Max Frisch play. These things are for everyone. It should not just be for people who've been privately educated and have been for university. Like, no matter fucking who you are. We've had people in the chat tonight from India and from Portland and from New Zealand and Australia, and we've had like mums in the Midwest come and watch my content. Like, why should they not have an opinion about Shakespeare or Schopenhauer or Berkeley or Kant or whatever? Like, it's for everyone. And so if I can convince one person out there, not only, well, if I can teach them something fantastic, but also more importantly, if I can convince them that they are worthy of learning, then I feel I've done some good. There are so many people in this world who feel that like higher education or education generally is not quote unquote for them, that it's too highbrow. And I'm like, no, it's for you. If it's beautiful and if it's moving and if it's enlightening, then it's for you. If you're a person, you know? So, is education worth it for that reason? Yes. Yeah. That's why I do what I do. Josh Knight 1103 says you did help me understand how I was being an asshole. Well, there you go. I'm glad I could help. I'm sure you did a lot of work on yourself too, but you know, I'm glad it could help. I'm not Mormon anymore, thank you, says Clover plays Snake Game. I mean, I guess that's your kind of call, but I'm glad if it makes you happier. World is the thing that is reborn with every person, says Treebor8. What a beautiful phrase, Treebor8. Did you write that? That's gorgeous. Is that a quote from something, or did you just come up with that? That's fantastic. There you go. Your videos helped me fall in love with learning again, says Karina Freeman. Thank you, I'm glad. They help me enjoy the learning too. I will say that the project I'm researching at the moment, the big one that I'm doing, that was gonna be this year's kind of trans video, that's now grown so big, biggest project I've ever done in terms of research, is probably gonna end up being pushed to next year. I think it's very traumatic to research, but I hope that it can do some good by making it. Yeah. You helped me rediscover my love for philosophy. I'm glad. You touch a lot on topics that are not taught in academia. That's important too, says From the Fourth Planet. Yeah, I try to. You know, because you can go to university and you can learn stuff, but like, you know, I'm trying to give you the extra stuff. My favorite teacher when I was in high school, Mr. Baker, was always like that. He'd give you the extra stuff. It was like the, you know, you've got your roast dinner, but also you get the trimmings too. Would you ever do a video on the ethics of veganism or vegetarianism? I actually did years and years and years ago. Many years ago, back in Philosophy Tube Season 1. So, anyway, something else that we do on these live streams is we talk about Transphobia Watch. Dun 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 dun. How much transphobia was there under the comments of this video? There was a fair bit. Not of a massive amount. Certainly not a massive amount compared to the Jefferson video, but there was some. Which was shitty. But yeah, way better than last time, at least. The Jefferson video, worst comment section I've ever had. But like, oof, yeah. Phyllis Enelen says, your videos make all kinds of differences. You brought me my brand new song, my favorite song, Brand New Woman by Brimheim. Hey, alright! Yeah, I love Brimheim. She is a sweetheart. I've met her in real life. She is a big sweetheart. Whew! Okie dokie. Well, why don't we take a look at some comments in a moment? By the way, you're gonna love this. Check this out. You know, I said that I've changed, so I fixed the audio, so the audio is coming through nice and clear here. That wasn't the only thing I did, baby. That wasn't the only thing I did. I told you, I'm the greatest live streamer in the world. Check this shit out. I've created a slideshow. Look. Look at that. I can show you all the comments. I don't even have to click on it. I'm just hotkeys. Just sign it to hotkeys. Boom. Best in the world, 100%, 10 out of 10, best YouTuber of all time, best of all time, goated with the sauce. Yeah, baby, yeah. all right. Yeah, I can tell you're impressed. I'm so silly. Okie dokie. Well, let's kick things off. Here's a great comment from Cornstarch4575. Remember we talked about old people contributing to the economy in ways that aren't counted? Well, Cornstarch said that their mum does a lot of volunteering that facilitates loads of economic activity. Yeah, I found that to be really important concept when I read Phil Mullen's book. How we count productive labor and whose labor is counted. It's like, I thought that was a really good intro into the broader philosophical discussions that this video throws up. I also really enjoyed talking about this fact to my mum and dad, because my mum and dad are, as I say in the video, are like both retired now and have been feeling a little bit useless. And they said, oh, you know, everything we read is just like tells us that old people like us are just kind of sucking all the life out and burdens. And I said, no, look at all the stuff that you do on the local council, and like you're contributing massively. It's just that it's not counted in official statistics, and that made them feel a lot better too. So that was nice. I'm glad that I got to do that. I love my mum and dad. Got to spend a few days with them a while ago, which was really lovely. They're just so happy. I'm so proud of them. Hey, I'll tell you what else. Check this out. There we go. Next comment. Next slide, please. Fire Incarnation 2348 said, if we want the birth rate to go up, we need policies that make it better to have kids, like free college and better healthcare, etc. And Dylan Swift 5185 came back and said, well, there are some Nordic and Scandinavian countries that have those, and their birth rates are still not super hot. And that's something that came up quite a few times in the comments. A lot of people were having that kind of discussion. It came up a little bit in my research too. Yeah, it turns out that it is kind of hard to get that birth rate back up there. I mean, like, we could say that those Nordic countries still haven't gone far enough with the social democracy, and like we really need to get the kind of like socialism in there. I think that'd be worth trying, because it'd do a lot of good even if it doesn't make the birth rate go back up. And it's just like, oh no, we made everyone happier and healthier, but like the birth rate still didn't move. Oh no, whatever. Like, but yeah, it turns out equality of women working and joining the workforce and being in education and just like having control over our own bodies is a really big predictor of falling birth rates. And like, yeah, we want to decide for ourselves whether we carry kids and have kids. So I don't know. I think, just me personally, I think adapting to aging populations and lower birth rates is probably the order of the day. I think the ship has probably sailed on getting the birth rate massively back up in economically developed countries. For right now, I don't know, unless some kind of crazy stuff happens. So that's just my 2 cents. I think I'm gonna burp. Hang on 1 second. Excuse me. No? Okay. Alright. Congrats on your pregnancy, says John Walker KM6FD. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Get to that. So Adney3346 had some really good constructive feedback as well. They said that they thought it had been a bit too hasty to dismiss the problems associated with an aging population, in particular with a shrinking pool of workers. You know, however we count productivity, right? It's true that the shrinking pool of workers does occur. And yeah, that was some of the substance of Tom Nicholas's feedback on the video too. And I think that's a fair cop. I think I've seen so much of the other side of being like birth rates are the most important thing in the world that I kind of really wanted to hit the counter arguments really hard. So I might have overshot a little bit. I think there probably are legit economic challenges that are going to arise from aging populations, and we shouldn't dismiss all talk of it as if it's a phantasm, even if some of it is. That's fair. That's fair. A few people made similar comments in the comment section, and I think that's a fair cop. So like, I guess the video I've made like contributes something to discussion to like, you know, even the scales a little bit. But I accept that there are points that I could have been, like more, like Tom said as well, like, you know, data and so on would have been, like substantiating it more would have been good. But like, I guess, yeah, that's a sort of scope problem. Oh, and then we go to Turnips, who said, oh, Turnips is over me. Here we go. There we go. Turnip says it's not the number of people, it's how sustainable the lifestyle is. And yes, that's very, very true. I wish I'd hit that beat a little bit harder in hindsight. I think it's something we touch on in part 2. But again, yeah, really good point. Thank you for adding it. Really good to have that in the mix. Badoosh. Oh yeah, Veggie Dragon really liked that the arsonist is back, and so did Tamar Becker, and so did Edab9958 and the potato. Wait, no, this is a different one. Who's this? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, so this Edab9958 noticed that the arsonist is like kind of, I'll show you now, is like kind of giving Hitler with the comb over, and also the hand gestures, the physicality that he uses are very deliberately Hitlerian. That was not an unconscious thing. That was like a deliberate acting choice to be like, okay, he's like a little bit more Hitler and gets more Hitler as you go through the monologue, especially the kind of like the hand gestures are very, very Hitler. I've recently watched a whole lot of documentaries about World War II, so I was like, okay, I think I've got a pretty good like Hitler on deck. Like, I've got a Hitler in the tank. Like I can do a Hitler. So yeah, Revik S says, have you ever thought about doing a full video essay on feedback to your fast essays and addressing them? That's what this is. That's what this is, baby. That's what we're doing right now. You're in it. You're in it now. You're looking at it. It's not a video essay. It's a live stream. I prefer doing it as long form, and I prefer doing it as unstructured, and I prefer doing it without all the bells and whistles, without my kind of armor. I prefer doing it. Oh, the moon is out. The moon's very pretty tonight. Sorry. I like to do these feedback sessions without all my armor. So that, you know, so you can see that I'm taking it seriously. And also because I find that long form unstructured stuff, people don't clip it out of context. People don't, you know, it's just nice. It creates a much nicer sort of atmosphere for feedback to do it as a live stream. I find anyway. Your thread on the World at War was so good. I hope it was cathartic, says Lavadomi UK. It was. It really was. And after I finished it, you know, I went to a singles night and I, you know, chatted to some people and I even maybe have a date soon. Kind of a date-ish thing soon. So we'll see. Yeah. No, that's just for the people who follow me on Tumblr. Yeah. Yeah, Hitler. Yeah, bit of Hitler in this video. A little bit of Hitler. I also just have World War II on the brain because I've been sending messages to Vera Drew about World War II and about Himmler for ages. I was info dumping to Vera Drew about World War II. This is in the weird. This doesn't matter. Tamar Becker liked the drag act with the voice and the mustache as well, which was good fun. So yeah, I'm glad people liked it. John Walker says, if I met you on a singles night, I'd be intimidated, assuming I'd seen your videos before. Well, I never did anyone who knows who I am. So sometimes on a speed dating, I'll just be like, oh, you're a fan. Well, we're not gonna date, but nice to meet you. I never did anyone who knows who I am. It just makes things weird. It means I either need to date people who have no idea who I am and what I do, which is great, just normies, or other YouTubers. I make an exception for other YouTubers, which I have done on a couple of occasions. But yeah, that has its own drawbacks. We won't get into that. Ewan Stokes had some really great feedback and said they live in Japan and there are actually some positive aspects to a falling birth rate. For instance, workers have more bargaining power, which is a really good one. Yeah, I think one of the takeaways I wanted people to get from this video was like to keep asking who benefits, you know, if things are better or worse for whom. To not just accept the framing that we're so often given from like the Atlantic or the New York Times, which is often, you know, the perspective of the middle class and the owner class, but to say, okay, like better or worse for who, you know, to keep command, to keep critical command. And so, yeah. That's what I wanted to do. Great feedback. Thank you, Ewan Stokes. And Emery KG really liked the cliffhanger ending with the pregnancy. Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it. This was fun. It was a fun bit of acting that we got to do, and just like something a little bit unexpected. Oh look, YouTube tells me what the most replayed moment is, and this is the most replayed moment. Oh my gosh, people liked it. People like this bit. It's me like discovering that I'm preggers. And then going straight into the Nebula ad. I think the cliffhanger hits harder if you're on the Nebula and you don't get the Nebula ad, but it's still fun on YouTube. But yeah, it's cool. She has a minimum height requirement, says What a Life. That's not true. One of my high school girlfriends was like 4'11", and she's now pregnant for real. 2 of my exes are pregnant now. Wild. I told this story on the podcast, but I went out to dinner with one of my exes a while ago. We broke up like 5 years ago. We're just good friends. We broke up like pre-transition. And then we went out to dinner. She's like, I've got to tell you something, I'm pregnant. And then for like just a second, I was like, oh, is it mine? And then I was like, wait, no. No, that's impossible. And also, we haven't had sex in 5 years, and that's impossible anyway. So I was like, wait, like good pregnant? She's like, yes, good pregnant. I was like, oh, good, congratulations. So, yeah. People were gagged at that moment, says John Walker. They were indeed. People were indeed gagged. Gagging occurred. So yeah. It's the age we're at. Everyone's getting pregnant. Yeah, all of my female friends are either getting pregnant or getting vaginas. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. You sold the breaking character to laugh at the test before realizing it was positive. Yeah, I knew that would be the crucial moment. I knew when I was planning in my head, I was like, that's how we're going to get him. That's how we're going to get him. I'm going to make it seem like it was an accident, you know? Acting! I love acting so much. Hell yeah, baby. People really liked the cliffhanger ending. That was fun. Well, almost everyone liked it, except for Bedinsis. Now, Bedinsis went and watched the second part on Nebula already, and was unhappy. They felt tricked and cheated when they find out that I'm not actually pregnant. Curiously, they also said in this comment that they know that I'm trans. So I think that Bedinsis believes that transition gives you the ability to get pregnant. And you know what? I initially laughed, but I'm not going to shame this person. I'm not going to shame everyone for not knowing this. So, teachable moment, PSA. Transition does not cause you to grow a womb or ovaries. Sadly. Not yet, anyway. Maybe someday medical science will get good enough to do that, but not right now. So I don't have a womb or ovaries that I know of. I mean, maybe I'm intersex. Maybe. not in a rush to find out. You know, maybe I am. So maybe I do have a woman ovaries and they're just kind of like kicking around in there. Nobody's ever scanned my abdomen or gone digging around in it. Maybe you do. Maybe you at home have, you know, all kinds of shit going on. You could have like just wires down there. You could have fucking ping pong balls and lizards and glowing lights. You got no clue. Probably not that. But like, I might have ovaries. I might have a womb somewhere in there. I don't know. No, as far as I know, I can't get pregnant. And so I wasn't really pregnant. But you know, you never know what you're capable of. You never know what potential you're carrying inside you. But no, transition does not give trans women the ability to get pregnant at time of recording. Last but not least, we have... I don't think it's your responsibility to make sure your audience knows exactly what physical effects transition can have on a person, says Eric Lundquist there. Yeah, I agree with you, and in fact, I even make a joke about that in the part 2. In part 2, I deliberately make it ambiguous whether I'm like trans or intersex, and like also deliberately blur the lines between those things. I think in part 2 I was born with a rare genetic condition called Hunter-Schafer syndrome, which doesn't exist, but also like half the shit they say about trans people isn't real either. So like, I don't know, fuck it. You know, sometimes I identify as a mystery. My pronouns are like a question mark, you know? They're not, my pronouns are she, her, don't use anything else. But like, you know, I'm a fucking mystery. It's not always good, you know, it's not that I won't appear under the signifier of trans, but I would like it always to be permanently unclear what that means. As Judith Butler once almost said. So yeah. Hell yeah. And then we have this. Beautiful, beautiful bit of fan art. This was by, who is this by? It says on it, whoa. It's by Jaziel17. Made this beautiful, look at that, with the ferns as well. Gorgeous. Thank you, Jaziel17. Joris Amalan, Hunter-Schafer syndrome does not really exist. I made that up. That's not a joke. That's not real. But it's a joke. It just like Hunter and then dash and then Schafer. It sounds like two sexologists from the 50s. So I was thinking of Hunter-Schafer syndrome. Doesn't exist. Not a real medical condition. Misinformation. Me when I deliberately post misinformation on the internet. No, it doesn't exist. Not a real condition. Hunter-Schafer syndrome. I knew I was going to have fun with that bit. But anyway, yes, beautiful art. Thank you to Jaziel17 for making this. Hunter-Schafer is a real person. Yes, I need to cry. Hunter-Schafer, real woman. Good actor. Good actress. You know, by all accounts, a nice lady too. Haven't met her. Here she's cool. Might bump into her at some point. But Hunter-Schafer syndrome, not real. Does not exist. Made that up. That's the joke. Okay. Okay. Have you ever had a character named Misinformation? Yes, Adelaide Sweetley Schmitz's newspaper writing column is called Misinformation. Hunter syndrome is an actual condition, so it sounds plausible. Yeah, I know, that's why it's funny. That's why it's funny. It sounds real, and then you're like, wait, isn't that actress? And you're like, yeah. I make myself laugh. Yeah, okie dokie. Somebody said I'm suffering from Sogondis. Yeah, I actually have both. Yeah. No, I don't anymore. Like I got none of them. Yeah. You can ligma if you can find them. Like. We're having fun. So, lastly. Let's talk about what I've been reading lately. So I have been reading Ketil Slagstad's Standardizing Sex. It's a history of Scandinavian sexology. It's very good. It's very, very good. Gets a little bit dense and academic in parts, but not in like a major way, you know? On a scale of like, you know, I'm not even going to put it on a similar scale. It's pretty good. Yeah, I like it. Like, a lot of very interesting history of like how the concept of physical sex was developed in Scandinavian countries, and how that linked in with the incentives of the welfare state, and also of you know, of the state generally, and how the clinical entity of the transsexual was created. Very interesting. Makes a fantastic counterpiece to. Sorry, I'm just gonna. Jules Gill Peterson. I need to cover up. Does my pencil case in here? No. Jules Gill Peterson, author, has since come out in transition. Jules Gill Peterson's Histories of the Transgender Child, which is similar sorts of topics, specifically focused on the history of trans children and sexology clinics in the US, which fascinating, very, very cool. Both of these books, really good, like learning about trans people from like the early 1900s and from the late 1800s. Really cool. Like learning about trans kids in the 1920s and what they were fucking getting up to. Really, really cool. Nice to hear about. In some ways sad and tragic, and in some ways like, oh fuck yeah. So yeah, both of these books really go well together. Really recommend reading both of them. Big fan of both of them. Very cool. Weird. And then of course, I have been reading, well, I am still reading Absolute Wonder Woman, the comic book series, which I'm loving. What is this? Issue 14 just arrived. I haven't had time to read it yet. It's still in its plastic. But I am loving it. I bumped into a guy last night, a comic book writer at a party, who told me I should check out She-Hulk as well. So I may end up reading a little bit of She-Hulk. But like, yeah. If you're not reading Absolute Wonder Woman, check it out. If you like comics, like, it rules. It's really, really good. I love it. Kelly Thompson's just done like such a good job with the character. I love her. It's so cool. Like, I'm not being paid by DC to endorse this, but I'm just endorsing it for free because I love it. Love it. And then of course the other thing I've been reading is Blink, which we've already kind of talked about. Which I'm going to be in next year. So we've come full circle on the live stream, you know. I'm so looking forward to this. I had lunch with my director Simon today, and he was telling me about his vision for the play and what he wants to do with it, and how he wants to push me as an actor. Like, Simon and I have been friends for years. Simon was one of the producers of The Prince, and so he talked about how he wants to push me as an actor, and it's exactly what I need in my acting journey right now. And because he knows me so well, we've known each other for God, like 10 years, me and Simon. So he knows how, like, he knows I'm safe with him, and I know that he can like push me into a place that is more raw and more authentic, and is more, you know, yeah, just the way he explains. He's a genius, Simon. He's such a good director. He's one of the only people I know who can grasp all the artistic, poetic functions of a play, and also he can like solve a Rubik's Cube in 2 minutes, which is like why he's such a good producer as well. He's not producing this play, he's just directing it. But he explained to me his vision, and I'm like, God, you're a genius. Like, and he's directed, he's also the director of a show called Ernest, which has toured the UK and has been absolutely massive, and he's gotten so good at directing by doing that show. So I cannot wait to work with him. It's gonna be great. Is it weird to work with someone you know so well when one of you has to instruct the other? No, not so much. Like, Simon and I have worked together before. He's been my producer before, so he's kind of been like my boss before, and he also directed me in a short play that I did years ago, and in a bunch of workshops that we did. So it's not my first time working for him, but he is like, he's a genius, and I cannot wait to work with him. I also found out today who my co-star is going to be, which is exciting. I'm not allowed to say who it is, but he's a really cool actor. I'm looking forward to working with him because it's a two-person play. This play. So I'll be working with a gent, with a guy, which I'm looking forward to meeting him. So yeah, I'm excited. I think it's gonna be really, really good. Yeah, as I say, there's a code on my Patreon where you can get the front rows of it too. So if you wanna pick up tickets to come see Blink, come check it out because it is gonna be sick. But yeah, like the play is one thing on the page, and I've been reading it, like trying to get to know Sophie, my character. But then Simon has this amazing vision for it. I'm like, oh, this is gonna sing. It's gonna be really beautiful. So, yeah, it's really cool. Extra Tone says, regarding the video, I was surprised you didn't discuss a premise that was drilled into me as a kid. Our current rate of food production is not sustainable. We did talk about that in the second section. Remember the bit about overpopulation? We did. The real question is, will you get a fringe for the part? Nah, probably not. Probably not a fringe like that. We haven't had a designer yet. We haven't talked about the design, the makeup artist, and the design of it yet. What drew you to this play? Says LMN977. It wasn't my pick. It was Simon's pick. Simon and I have wanted to do. He's wanted to direct me in something full length for a while. I've wanted to go back to stage. He and I looked at a few different shows. We batted a few ideas back and forth, tried to get the rights to a couple things, and this was the one where everything lined up. Like, we liked the play and the rights were available, and the writer really liked our vision, and also the part excited me. I think it's. So I've just spent all summer filming this massive action role, which is going to be coming out in June, which I still can't tell you what it is. But that role that I just finished filming, the kind of really big action one, was like, the character is very aggressive and very driven and very dominant and very powerful. And Sophie, no spoilers, Sophie, total opposite. And so I wanted something that was really gonna, because what I want as an actor is to get better, and you get better by pushing yourself. And I have, in the last few years, played a lot of characters like Hotspur and the Prince, and then House of the Dragon, and then this big action thing as well. Played like characters who are very dominant, very aggro. And I want to play a character, I want to stretch myself by playing someone who's not like that at all. And to just get, to get vulnerable with it. Get like raw and get vulnerable in front of like a few hundred people, and just see what I can do. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for the challenge. Is there a pay per stream option for Blink? No, it's I don't think it's gonna be. If it is recorded, it's not. That's not my department. And if it is, I would say you probably want to come and see it live, because like this particular show, it doesn't really work watching it on a screen. I mean, you get something out of it, but like it's a live experience. It's live theatre. It needs to be so. So yeah, I've been rereading this and getting to know my character and making my little notes in the margin, and just like trying to feel her and get to know her, and taking certain kinds of like physical movement classes as well to try and think about her physicality and find a way into her character, because like it's, yeah, I really like it. It's going to be a really good challenge. Really, really good challenge. Yeah. Can I go for free if I have to pay for a flight? Says What a Life. I can't give you one for free, but I think I can give you discount tickets. I think there's an early bird code still on. If you get the tickets now, I think so. So yeah. I'm really, really excited for this. It's gonna be cool. Anyway, I think that is just about all we needed to talk about on this live stream. I've still got a little bit of time to go and get a snack. Maybe play some Ghost of Yotei before bed. Have a nice cup of tea. Ooh, I might have a shower actually, because I hit the gym hard today. Today was chest and triceps. Oh, so might have a little cheeky shower before bed. One of my exes used to always have a shower before bedtime, and it's so nice. It just makes you all like warm and soft. No screens in the shower, just like warm and soft in the shower, and then you get into bed. So it's a good way to go. It's I name that after her. I'm gonna have my name shower before bed. Yeah. And maybe some incredible violence on Ghost of Yotei, which I love. Really enjoying that game. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. This was such a nice stream. It's good to be back and do the stream. I tell you what, so we've got new episode of Philosophy Tube dropping on Friday. And then we'll have a post-mortem stream for that. And then we'll also, I'm going to try and have an end-of-year stream talking about all the videos we've made, and like kind of like the financial state of the channel at the end of 2025, and then looking ahead to what I have planned for 2026. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I will see you probably in a couple of weeks on this live stream again, and I'll see you for the new episode on Friday. If you haven't seen the new episode on Nebula, it's a good one. It's a banger. I think it's one of the best I've made in a while. It's going to be really fun. So I will see you for that. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Thanks you for witnessing the greatest live streamer in the world of all time ever. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks.